So I'm just checking whether this is live or not. Okay. So I believe this is getting live on YouTube. Just a moment. I'll get this checked. Just a bit of technical check. So meanwhile, you can check if we are getting any participants. You can just let them in. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll ensure that this is whole live and properly live on YouTube because I'm not able to see it. It's giving me some restricted mode option. I'm just disabling that. Just a moment. So YouTube is a little complicated than Facebook. Facebook Live is much easier. But yeah. So, Kana, you have any idea about restricted mode YouTube?
No.
Shall we go live on Facebook here? But wait, since we have announced it for YouTube, it has to first try it on YouTube. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so yeah, this is live on Facebook. Yeah. So hello everyone, all the viewers on Facebook. Hi, so sorry for the technical difficulty. Although this is a technological world and everything, I'm still technically challenged. So I will, along with my co-host Sukanya, we welcome you to Open Hour by Yours Truly Theatre. This is an initiative just to have open conversations, share and connect. And it is something which came out of the blue, and we found a lot of value and essence in it, with guests coming from all around the world, sharing their thoughts, sharing their experiences, and everything from their kitchen tales to their work to their passion to whatnot. And we've had crazy conversations. And with that, today we have um, yet another special guest. In fact, very special to me because I've sort of had my own journey with the kind of work she's been involved into. And yeah, I'm grateful to be hosting it. So Sukanya, how are you? I am not allowing you to speak. So yeah, how have you been?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Let me know if there's a lag. Considering I'm technically challenged, there is going to be some hiccups. Um,
I think I missed you there.
oh, you missed me? Okay, I was just asking how is the Sunday treating you?
Oh, so I think Sunday has been a long day for me because there has been sessions and other things that are happening, and but I think it's also during the session, it was a good learning to interact with other people who were there and get to learn new things. So that's a little bit of Sunday learning and unlearning.
Hmm. Good to hear that. Pretty much similar with me. I have sort of my today's lunch was a running lunch. I've ran from I've ran from pillar to pillar, fulfilling few things, and in the middle I've had lunch. So that was a very new experience, good and new experience for me to say. Uh, but good to hear that. So at this juncture, shall we introduce about the special guest I was talking about?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I will start this story with with an article I read from your story. If any of you watching here might be aware of it, um, Shraddha Sharma, I think, is the founder, right, Sukanya?
Yes.
Yeah. So you of course read a lot many articles, and there was one such article I read about letters which heal you. You sort of write a letter, or maybe you read a letter which is written to you, and it heals you. The article was around that, and it was around this one person who was working towards this initiative. Um, and I was I was taken back. It was a breathtaking article when I read about it. And deep digging down, I somewhere down the line found the link. I was like, yeah, I get the whole essence, but how do you join this initiative? And then I found a Facebook group. The name was Letter to a Stranger. And that's when I got introduced to this initiative of letter writing and got to know the guest who is present with us today, uh, founder of a community, Letter to a Stranger. Also, let's and she's here.
Hello, everyone. What a joy to see and to be a part of your initiative today. And thank you so much, Pranav, for saying such wonderful things about me. And thank you so much to Pranav and Sukanya. Thank you so much. So lovely to be here today on a Sunday evening, that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we could grab your availability. I know you've been very busy with everything around, and especially with these festivals and everything. We're so glad we could find the time. So thanks for
So
that.
am I. So am I. So am I. Thank you. Mutual, the feelings are mutual.
So, just kicking off with the story which I started. I read about letters and the community Letter to a Stranger, and I joined it. Initially, I remember initially the letters were exchanged uh, with the pen and paper and the old postman wala style, right? That's where you are the postwoman. The word I've heard this word for the first time, and you completely sort of have given so much of essence and value to this word. And yeah, so I would want maybe you to explain it in your words. Um, what Letter to a Stranger is, how did he come up with it? Um, I'm just jumping it
It's
directly to
okay.
Letter to a Stranger. We'll go back to who Paromita is, definitely. We would want everyone to know more of you. Of course, I've sort of have, known you in the last 1 or 2 years more, but we would want to know more who Paromita is. Yeah, back to
Thank you so much. So, letter from a stranger. It's like I am like a professional letter writer. I love writing letters, and I've done it for like years now. In my 30s, I've done it since I was like 9 or 10 years old. So, hota kya hai na? When I went to Miranda in Delhi University, I stayed in a hostel, and after 3 years or 5 years, your friends leave, and then again we had this whole thing of writing to each other. And maybe because I studied literature, and everyone could write a lot of stuff. So I have these letters, emails, of course, which are like 1,000 words is no big deal for us. Even when we used to go to work and I have to ask something that today I'm not feeling well, someone will write 100 words just from the washroom, from their workspace. So for us to having a community, I always had a community where I felt loved, heard, and understood. And that was what I thought that the whole world was. Of course, you are very young then, you don't understand the world. And I was into theater and everything went on. So in 2019, I had a thing that what will be my legacy to the world? Because I'm aging, right? And that will come to you one day or the other. Ek time pe to lagta hai when you are 21, 22 that you are invincible. But then in your 30s, you realize that you are not. And I realized what is that that has added value to my life. You know, anytime I'm sad, I'm just writing emails after emails. And the best part is that someone always responds. And became a part of my life and it's a part of my healing journey. Life is not that easy, right? Someday you will hit road bumps. So every time I did, there was someone writing back to me. And that is when I realized that, okay, let's first have this session. Let's 5 women write to each other. I put it on Facebook and 30 people showed up. And that is how we began. And we are just running our 13th circle. And we have already wrote 700 letters across the world. And we only are doing now email letters because of course, at the end of the day, it is from a stranger. So giving the physical address is not something I am comfortable because there are some women, let's say someone wrote to us that she has lost her husband, she's 27, and she lives with her 2 twin sons who are 6 months old with her mother. I mean, giving her address to someone, that's not safe, right? So we have said that the first letter is always email, but then if you want to write handwritten letters and both the individual have consent who are adults, then you could go ahead. But we take all kinds of letters and we are constantly writing. And we are again writing. So we are just writing, and trying to make the world a better place, one letter at a time. So that's what we are doing. So yes.
Yeah, and fills my heart to be one among those writers. And yeah, I'm also one of the writers in the community.
Of course. He's
Yeah.
doing a great job, and we take everything. Basically, we are not a paintball club, which you know, Pranab, because all our letters are basically issue based, right? It's not like about two friends meeting. It's like this time also when you have signed something, we will give you a topic to write, which people request. So that is the difference between us and paintball clubs. People say, why don't you join a paintball club? I said, because if we start, people won't start talking what matters to them. So we have from domestic violence to last time you wrote about someone who is like going to do their masters and she's scared. And Pranav wrote a very beautiful letter back. So that is what we are trying, hearing out people and writing what we know. It actually is a cumulative wisdom. All the letters, which I hope we get published, is a cumulative wisdom of our time when it comes at books at a year or two later, because it is all written by people, ordinary people like you and I. We aren't, the newsmakers of our times, but this is the collective wisdom of our time and age when we lived. So that is what I'm trying to, being a post woman and a wisdom gatherer. I call myself a wisdom gatherer. So I'm taking the wisdom of the people who lived in this century and getting it there, documented. And so that's what I am doing. Yes.
Amazing. And yeah, at this juncture, I would just want to feel whatever you just said. And Sukanya, you please take over while I immerse into the thoughts. And
Yes, that's a very beautiful way of putting across things. So, so if I have to ask you, like, when was the first time you either wrote a letter or you received a letter, or what was that? So, if you wrote a letter, what is that one thing that motivated you, or that one thing that because of which you started writing the letter?
Okay, so in school, used to go to places, and I'm talking about 90s. There was no internet, or there wasn't the mobile phone where we could. So we used to write letters. So I think in sixth standard, I met someone in some event or something. School events hote hai na. So I wrote to her. But when you know what felt good when you write a letter, you feel seen. When I write about, okay, I went to my friend's birthday, I just felt so special. And when she wrote back after a month or so, we were the same age. She said, "Yes, I also went to my friend's birthday and I gave a pencil box as a gift." And you feel so important, you feel seen, you feel heard. And even in my school, even children have bad days, right? So, but I knew I had a friend whom I can go back and tell everything. So that was the first process why I started writing. And I realized that writing is a healing process. When I write, I feel heard, and the one whom I write to feels seen. And after food, shelter, and clothes, the basic of human need is to be seen and heard and understood. When you give that to a human being, it brings mental and emotional balance. And that is what we are doing in this group with fantastic. Every month there are an army of 30, 40 volunteers who write. And it's been a journey when I am also learning, because humans can be so warm and wise. I mean, once the letters come out, we are talking with publishers, and let's see, because of the COVID situation, that things are being pushed. It's amazing how a common human being can be so wise. And that is why I say I'm just collecting the wisdom of the times we lived. It's a beautiful experience. I think I am the one who's gaining the most out of it, because I am the one who gets to read all the letters. And it's been an amazing journey, and I'm growing every day. I think someone up there is very happy with me and saying, okay, I'll give you this experience for a lifetime. So I am the luckiest one doing it, yes.
Good to know that.
So
So that's what happened. Yes. Go ahead, please.
yeah. So now let's come back to Paromita, how you started. You definitely mentioned about the story with your friend. And having gone through this process of reading a letter, writing a letter to someone, you definitely go through a journey, starting from writing to someone or even reading a letter. You sort of start from how the person addresses you, and reading a letter itself is an experience. I mean, that's how maybe it becomes healing. Or any thoughts on how that
Okay.
letter is healing someone?
So, what was the first form of therapy you think in the world was?
Um,
First form of therapy.
I think,
It's
yeah, talking.
storytelling.
Yeah, storytelling.
Storytelling.
Mm.
So whenever you are writing a letter, you are telling a story. And whenever whatever we are telling, it's a story at the end of the day, right? So you are telling a story, you are hearing a story. And it's also been scientifically proved that when you write down, the cognitive behavior change hote hain. So basically, you are taking out what you feel, and you're hearing someone recognizing what you feel. That is how the basic therapy happens.
Mm.
Anytime you feel so sad, what is the worst human feeling? That no one wants me, no one listens to me. That is the greatest of human tragedy, is to be so lonely in this world. We are hyper connected, but people are feeling so lonely. So when you just receive the notification that someone has written you a letter, how wonderful it feels. You read a story, you tell a story, and both the stories are recognized by another human being. That is the basic of healing, and that's why everyone is calling all the writers modern day healers, and that was what the press called us. I didn't. So healers is what the press is calling us. I haven't, but I do realize why they call us so,
Yeah.
because people have been I don't know. I never expected the kind of reaction I have received. People get like, I don't know why people start crying so much. I said, कुछ
Yeah.
गलत तो नहीं लिखा, because I have read it. People feel very overwhelmed and they cry, they weep. And I don't say that we change lives. One letter cannot. But when someone makes a change, we are that one brick. And someday that one brick is all you need to move forward. So it's been amazing responses. I am just saying that maybe 10 years later, we'll make a book of the responses we have received. So it's amazing. And
Right.
great. And I'm glad that people are accepting us so much. So grateful for that.
Yeah, and talking about healing, when I read about it in your story, and so normally, yeah, we all go through ups and downs in life. I was also going through a lot, and yeah, so more than anything else, it did way beyond healing for me, because it is very difficult to fight your own thoughts and
Yes.
live with them, sleep with them. But like you said, when you receive a letter which is addressed to you, and more importantly, addressed to your
With
problem,
your name.
with
With
your
your
name,
name.
and
Yes.
I don't know how it used to work. They used to be my name multiple times in the letter, and it was like the person is sitting next to me explaining.
Yes, talking
Uh,
to you.
so see, Pranav, this is how it works, and it's more than someone. I mean, even if someone was sitting beside me, I wouldn't have had that much of effect, because I can
Yes.
just talk back to them, and it's like, you please stop. But that does not happen in letter.
In a letters, yes. And this is such emotional labor. I mean, even you are also doing to other people. When you sit down, you might not have been in those circumstances, but you sit down, write to them, and addressing, let's say, Paromita, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should give that guy a chance. Maybe you should just not take that job. So, that clarity also comes. You also hear from someone else. But I believe that the basic thing what someone feels, that they feel important, that they matter, that basic feeling that I matter, I think that's the beginning of all healing. So that's what I believe is working for us so well. People feel that they matter and their problem is worth it, that they're not alone. So that is what I think is working with people. And we're having so less writers. We need more of them because there are too many requests and I have to close the form in 2-3 days. So that is also a trouble we are going through, but we hope with the book that we release, a lot of people can read it, because some questions are very repetitive, right? So
Right.
people, I hope it touches people, because it is humanly impossible to take so many requests. And I apologize in front of all the writers, because they are doing an amazing job, but no one can take more than 2 letters. It's also not right on my part to tell them, and humanly impossible. We are sorry, but we will come with the book, and I hope whoever hasn't been able to connect with us will connect with the book. We are hoping for that. Yes.
Yeah, having written letters, so it is definitely a lot of emotional, I don't know how.
Catharsis.
Yeah, it's
Catharsis.
like yeah, you put a part of yourself in that letter,
Yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
I sort of always wanted to give it its own time and space,
And
so
space.
that I do justice to whatever was
The
written.
person.
Yeah. Uh, Personally, Sukanya has also written letters. So to give you a little fun fact,
Okay.
since I was so much influenced by letter writing and the community, we have this constant issues in our theatre group as well. We are a group of people who want to create art, or maybe create artists, because there's a quote which says, an artist does not create art, it creates another artist.
Yes.
So something of that sort, and we need to stay together. So there's ups and downs, and we don't, especially in pandemic. So we started this activity within the theatre group, that will write letters to each other, and then we sort of culminated that with a show, with a show for which you are credited without knowing that you you were credited. So I'll talk about that show as well. But Sukanya was part of that circle which we ran within our theatre group. and she wrote a complete full-fledged letter. So Sukanya, if
Yeah.
you would want
I
to
think
talk, yeah.
so. For me, letter writing was new when Pranav introduced that, because I've
Yeah,
not
obviously.
written letters before.
Hmm.
But then when we started writing, there was one person who said that she had trouble with respect to college and the way she was trying to get along or fit into that particular environment. And she was very helpless, sort of a thing. So that time so I felt that, okay, I have been in a similar situation. So somewhere I could take that part of me and then tell her that, okay, this is how it feels. Probably you need to somewhere see that what is best for you, or the way you want to connect with people who you would, tend to feel more connected with, and things like that. So when it was like I was giving a part of me or sharing a part of me with somebody else, wherein somehow it's like it's connecting to them, and somewhere they also are able to resonate with it. So that was the connection I could make in spite of not knowing who the person is. Somewhere you tend to share a little bit of with them, and it makes a difference somewhere uh, in their life as well. So yeah.
It also feels that your experience that you had in a college or in a workspace, that experience also matters to someone. That feeling of being mattered, even as a letter writer or a receiver, that for her the problem matters, for you your experience matters. That's what connects both people, and that's what makes it such a special emotion and a special feeling. So that's what I believe works for people.
And to complete the fun fact, so what we did was we ran the circle within our theater group, and since we all know each other already, I thought, okay, how can we be strangers? So we changed the email addresses. I instructed them, keep random names, don't reveal your name, and then we will do this sharing. And the name of our theater group is Yours Truly, which is of course written in the end of a letter. So and this was a thing that you actually receiving letters by yours truly, and it's unknown who's written it. And then we initially planned that we'll do a show wherein sharing of letter happens. We work a lot on interactive theater where we interact with audience and then play out their stories. Playback theater is another international format, and a lot many formats we do. One is that, but then we finally culminated with story of Rabindranath Tagore, which was in the same space of letters. The name was The Postmaster, which was Sukanya. Give me the leads. Sukanya had played the one of the main characters. I'm forgetting it. We read it. We sort of adapted it and made it of our own. And I wanted to invite you as well, but we're going to do another version of it. But yeah, it the sort of credits, or I can say the inspiration comes from you and your work.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Basically,
Thank you. I'm so grateful. I can always tell my
so when I,
grandchildren that I inspired art. So thank you so much. It's a privilege and an honor. Thank you.
yeah, and it was very much around the essence of letters and the way we adapted it. Sukanya, you want to throw a little light on how that experience was and how letters were making difference in that the whole um, journey.
In the show that we did,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So initially we were just doing as a very uh, we were thinking like how do we go about with it and things like that. But then we said, okay, let's do like an audio sort of a thing, wherein we could try to, it's only the dialogues, but I mean it's only the audio, but then if everyone would have their own version of the story running in your mind because with the characters and other things. So we felt okay, that would be a creative way to present it, and we felt so that's how the entire thing started. And I think we in fact we were able to somewhere create that impact on the audience when each one of them were listening. They actually felt that probably it was already recorded and things like that, but then we were spontaneously or instantly doing it. So that was how we did that show. And yeah, it was quite impactful for people who were there as audience. And
We
I'm
have
so
a
grateful that you guys are doing all this because what the world needs is some sort of healing in form of theater, art, music, whatever people do. And how wonderful to see young people like you coming up and doing it. And thank you from behalf of humanity. Thank you for doing whatever you guys are doing. Wonderful.
yeah. All thanks to you. The
Can
mutual.
you hear me, Pranav?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, yeah, all thanks to you. And this brings me to another initiative of yours, which I've attended yet again, which is Let's Huddle. And if you want to take us through how it works and what it is.
The journey. So I'll tell you, hostel में क्या होता है ना? You have been in a hostel, right? Pranav, okay.
Yes,
So
yes, I have.
जो hostel में जो छत होता है, so you can sit down and talk. I mean, you had very few means at that point on time. You were 18, you were 19, or all you had were your friends and your hopes and dreams. So we used to sit down at that place, and you didn't have much money to spend. I never had. So we just speak, and I used to speak. What are your dreams? I would ask one person, and everyone would respond. Or yeah, staircases में बैठ लो 5-6 लोग, and you talk. वो जो bonding होती है ना, and then life passed, and for me I always had such friends. So Delhi में 2018 में 18 में, so I used to hold these circles physically where you can just talk and come to tell about your life lessons. So we got this space for free, and people would just come and have this. Those random people can come, sit in a circle. You need to tell your name, identity. Come and share your life lesson. People did. And I came home, and then the pandemic happened. And then I was like, what do I do now? Now, then online wasn't that famous as it is now post pandemic. So I said, let's do it online. And then we started, which you were also a part of. So every circle, mostly on Saturdays all Saturdays we have. And any stranger can come, 4 or 5 people. You can come, you can have a conversation, and you can leave. So that is how it works, that it is all about having a conversation, and you can talk whatever you want. And of course, I do give a lead sometimes, but people feel very relieved. After 1 hour conversation, everyone goes back home feeling good about themselves. So it's about bringing small things in life, things that I have experienced as a human, and I give that experience to you. So that's what it's all about. It's nice. I mean, Sukanya, you must come sometimes if you want to.
sure, definitely. I would love to.
It is just conversations, nothing else. You bring your own coffee and sit on before the mobile and just have a conversation. It's all like that. It's nice. And 4 to 5 people we take every session. Otherwise, you can't listen to everyone. So it's pretty amazing what humans can say. And I feel every human can make a movie in their own life, because people experience so much. So it's pretty amazing and catharist, because everyone is there listening to each other. It's very important. We learn to listen when people are talking. We have lost the art of conversation, the art of listening, the art of empathy. So I just hope that by both letters and this huddle circle, which I want to continue even online after the pandemic gets over, we at least learn to listen to people. It's okay. Everything is not about me, and life is not a selfie. It's looking at someone else too. So that's the whole idea behind having a conversation or writing a letter. So empathy is what something I believe in, and empathy is what we try to bring into all this conversation and the written words. So that's all.
Amazing. That was like summing up. You've sort of answered the questions which I indeed had. So with this brings me that you also read minds. And
That only
I'm
you
going
know, Pranav.
into
It's
other
secret.
works.
It's a secret. Of course. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Okay, sure, sure. So yeah, uh, that's definitely there. And with these open conversations, so uh, going back to how or maybe we of course now in this half an hour viewers will also know who Paramita is and what she's done. We want to sort of let's go back to how did you land up in theater, and I want to know a little bit more about how
Okay,
did you find
theater
theater.
thing. Let me tell you, I'm a very bad actor. I mean, kabhi na perform karwana ro doge. So we had our own theater group, जो college में होता है ना, Anukriti we had. I was a backstage manager. So more than the creative part of writing and all, I'm very good at managing. Saman, because you know how much management takes. So even if you're going for trips and doing everything, and that is when once Anukriti was over in 2011, all our friends from the same society, we started Atish. That is after college. We were all working then, very young and working. And that is when we started. We did a lot of street plays. So I was there I was a co-founder from 2011 to 2017 and performing on the streets, going to villages in India. It gave me an experience. No college, no university, I think, can give it. It gave me the lesson what India is on the streets.
Right.
So it's pretty amazing, pretty amazing. All you have is like, we all are girls, right? So doing in Delhi, there are many streets in Delhi. Not everything is like CP or South Delhi. You go to slums,
Right.
you perform, and the streets are narrow, and you have to do it impromptu and get it done. So, if one thing I have learned from street theater and from my experience, of course, it's creative and you get to speak and everything. I learned how to manage things in a very very small capacity. Even if you don't give me a lot of what do you say a lot of money or a lot of I can start with very less. So that is what theater taught me, and that is what the streets of India taught me. That start with what you have. Rest always falls in places. So if you have no one, you just have yourself, right? So say the dialogue and go. That's one lesson I learned, that don't wait for others. I never did. I wanted to start something. Let's start. I mean, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा fail ही तो होगा ना. So I always start with myself, and then the journey never ends. So that's what I believe in. I think Maya Angelou said, "Na, begin with what you have." So
Right.
I have myself, and that's enough for today. Tomorrow I will learn again. So that's my philosophy in life. No matter what I do, I begin with myself. So I just tell myself, no, if no writer comes, it's okay. I can write letters, right? So I can do it. It's okay. So that is how I begin everything. But God has been kind. It never had to be me. But I have never written one of 700 letters. So
Really?
that
Why?
speaks. Yeah, never. Not even one. And so because you coordinate so much, so it's tough to sit down and write. And coordination takes a lot of time. And they're young writers, very young. They want to be trained in letter writing. That also takes a lot of time. Someone wants to read and revise. So, but that is my philosophy in life, that it's okay. I have myself, I'll make the first step. So, but I never had to step back after that. So that always works for me. Start with wherever you are and what you have. Rest, I think the universe takes care of it. So that is how I think we also met and having this conversation. Who would have thought? I mean, 1.5 years back, but we are here today, right? So very grateful for the journey. So that's it.
And I feel, I mean, yeah, it is. I have learned this the hard way. Maybe, saying it is okay. This it is just one or two word, but I don't know what it takes out of you. You might have to go from pillar to pillar, break your ego or break yourself. Very sounds easier, but for people like me who sort of are coming from a military background and all of
Background.
these
Hardcore thing.
prejudices, hardcore thinking, very habitual thinking. Of course, theater broke me a little, and some humanity seeped in me, and I'm what I am today. And initially, what you were speaking about theater and what it did to you, you were very much speaking even my heart out, and then Sukanya can share her experience. But of course, street plays, first of all, like even we do, but not street play kind of a thing wherein it requires a lot more 10 times energy level, right?
And courage.
Courage, yeah.
And you have to be very spontaneous. कभी space नहीं होता, कभी धूप बहुत होती है. You have to be barefooted, and that's how it's like life, man. No one can tell you how it's going to turn out, and you have to do it. And that's one thing I learned in life, that like a play, life will end one day, but do at that time. Life will never be perfect, you know. It's never going to be, there's never a perfect day, so just begin when you can. So this is something I completely believe in, and this is what has run my life. There is never going to be a perfect day to start the job. You have to do it today, make all the mistakes, but you will learn from it. It's okay. And that's what the whole exercise of being a human is. We aren't gods. It's never going to be perfect. People even criticize Picasso and Van Gogh. So take it. So that understanding and that humility, that I will do what I can and it's okay. And that has helped me a lot. So yeah, and people will say a lot of things, but when you know that I'll do what I can, and I understand I don't have India's next big idea, but I can write letters, right? So why not just write letters? Start where you are, and things do take their own shape. People are waiting for the big break, which actually never comes. Sorry to say, but they're always waiting for the big break. And, once I'm like maybe married and have kids, and then I will do this, that day doesn't come. So you got to do it, whatever you have, and see the results. You never know where you start and where it ends, right? So yes.
I think that's a beautiful way to begin something new, because instead of just thinking forever, at least you make some effort to begin something. And like you said, it's okay to make mistakes because we all end of the day learn. Yes, that's very
It's okay to
motivating.
be human. The point is, as if we all want to be gods, we don't want to make mistake. We don't want to fall in love with the wrong person. We don't want to take the wrong job. We don't want to invest on a wrong thing. But that is the deal of being the whole human experience. Baby, we're going to mess up. Everyone does, and that is how you grow and you evolve. And work is done at the moment, and not when ABC will be right. Trust me, if AB is right, C will be wrong. Start where you are. I tell young people whenever I'm invited, I said, you want to do a play, start in your college room, start in a hostel room. So it's always important to start, and then things always takes momentum if you have the consistency and the intention. A lot of people started a lot of letter writing groups, but they didn't run because maybe there was no consistency, or maybe their intention was different. So I am okay, give me just one person I'll start my own thing. So otherwise, I'll do it for myself and I'll just put it on my Facebook. So that's how I believe. Start, and the universe will take the next 10 steps. And it has always done for me. So very grateful for the whole journey called life and for letters and conversations that we are having. It's a great journey.
Yeah, and another inquisitive thing which I wanted to ask is, so recently I got a badge from Facebook that you are one of the top fans of Paromitas page, and I was like, okay, right? And I realized that it happened because of liking a lot of your quotes.
Maybe. Huh.
So how, from where these quotes are coming, and I want to understand a little more as to, yeah, from where are they coming?
Okay, so what happened is that I started this page in 2013 essay on a winter afternoon. I was sitting. I said, "Who will like my page?" I said, "I can at least convince 50 friends, right?" So I said, 50 नहीं तो 10 तो होंगे ही like करेंगे. I mean, I was someone who's just go to work and come back, and there was nothing much. So that is when I just realized that people start liking. Now we are 5,000, all organic. Okay, I'm just repeating organic.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it's pretty fun. And those quotes are basically what I read on the internet. I take a screenshot. Those are not my quote, but I relate to them. And it's strange. People say that through their bad times, my page has helped them.
Hmm.
I didn't know that because they said that I was going through a divorce or I was going through a heartbreak, whatever you wrote on your Facebook profile or your page, it has helped me to heal. So I don't know how it happens, but it does, and maybe someone up there is working for everything. I honestly I have no idea how the whole circle is actually working because I get so many messages from people. Even yesterday, someone was telling me that when I'm sad, I come to your profile and I heal. I said, okay. I honestly, I don't know what is working and who is working. I don't know, but that is how it is.
No,
So, yes.
I can tell you from my experience. So you sort of open and you're scrolling through, and you read those two lines, and you're like, this just happened with me, and this is so true. And all you can do is just like that quote, but expecting a,
Yes, yes.
uh,
And honest to God, I don't know how that happens because I liked it. I put up. A lot of pages do that, right? They share, they put up. But it's very strange. People have always called me someone who heals. And it's only now I have learned a month back. We did it with you, right? You were
can
one of my subject,
can we talk
Akashic
about?
record. We will talk about it, yes, but that is only now. But I have always received that whenever life is very sad, we just scroll through your page for hours and hours, and life becomes better. And honest to God, I don't know how that happens. I mean, I post the same pictures, I post the same things, but someone up there, I think, is putting something magic out there. So that's what I believe in.
Sukarnya, you have any thoughts?
Uh, I think I totally relate to that because sometimes probably we read a quote, maybe we are on a similar instance because of which we get connected to it. And that is what creates an impact on us also. Uh, but many a times it is not like we are able to reach out to the person who has written that quote or who has posted, but that in your case, since somebody is able to reach out, then it's like you are able to connect to them and kind of, even more create a better impact on them, wherein that space is there. So I think that way, that's when it's like it's all coming together for you as well.
It's a very strange experience. I mean, I received this long Facebook messages on my inbox that says that, I was going through this disease, I was going through this breakup and or divorce or an abuse or something. But reading whatever you write on the internet, I just Googled your name. I read and read and read. It gave me inspiration. They always use the word healing. Something healed within us. So honest to God, I don't know how that happens, but if it is happening, and I'm very grateful, but that is how it has happened. I've always heard that whatever you have written or done, it heals. So I don't know how many people go to my profile and what they find, but that's been a repeating pattern. Now that Pranab said that, yeah, it goes back. Yes, that's a pattern. Yes.
It's so one of the things which I heard Paramita saying in one of the sessions is, or it's also my collective thing, that you emit some energy and it goes out in the universe,
Universe
and then
and
it
comes
does something, and then it comes
back.
back to you.
Maybe I have
Something.
right now. I don't know. I exactly don't know what happens. But now that everyone is saying, I mean, all unrelated people can't be lying, right? First, I thought boys just wanted to go on a date. So I thought that guys were lying. So, but everyone is, if they are saying on unconnected people, 100 people cannot lie who are not connected to each other. So I have no idea. Maybe, I don't know. Or someone has done some magic over my page. You see, so that's been happening, and I'm very grateful that something like that has happened, and great.
And so, just digging more into Paramita, how in your process, so taking up something and staying true with it uh, through all ups and downs and all the trials and tribulations against all odds. That requires some metal, right? That requires that something. We face that a lot in theater to keep the dynamics, to keep people together, to keep the spirit going, so that we can do meaningful work. We can work for a cause. I mean, do what we want to do as an independent, group. Um, so, um, of course, you shared a lot about what you follow, but anything which you think helps to stay committed to a process, say any initiative. What are those few things which you think
Yes, I
can?
have seen a lot of people, talented people, picking up things, and they couldn't carry on. I think I have
Mm,
it in me. I just, if I don't say yes very easily, but if I have done doing something and it has
mm,
to touch my core, and then I will
mm,
stick to it. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And I believe in being drama free. If you
mm,
take so much of drama, log na bahut, you have to cut the fat. People do the drama around the things कि ना ये बोल रहा है, वो बोल रहा है, उसने ऐसा बोल दिया, उसने cheating किया. If you keep rotating around it, you won't reach the
mm,
core. Hit the core. बाद में देख लेना क्या होगा. So I keep things very drama free, and whenever I even my own initiative, I keep it very professional at one point. And of course, people do become friends, but I'm very clear about what I want, how I want, and that's how it works. Stick to it. It's very important to stick to it. People leave things halfway. So I prefer
mm,
sticking to it. Maybe even in a relationship or work, if I said you a yes, so it means a yes. So that is what I do. I'm
right.
very clear about it, and I keep away from drama. So that helps a lot of clarity. You can do a lot of things. I write poetry, I write pieces, I'm writing my book, I hold a job,
Mm,
and I keep away from drama. And I can sense toxicity from 1,000 miles. I have that gift, and I
mm,
just crossed the road. I crossed the road.
mm,
I know where drama is coming from. You can talk to me. You have an issue, you have a problem. Great. I'm the problem solver in my friends group. But I
mm,
know when toxicity and negativity is coming. Then I cross the street. I use my
right.
innate wisdom that way. Yes. It's very important to know, Pranab, when to start and when to stop.
Right.
You get it right, you got your life right.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you will waste your life in toxicity. And I have seen people doing shit because they couldn't handle what was going around them.
Hmm.
If you know
It's a
how to handle around, everything inside works like magic. Cut the crap. I'm like, cut the crap. You want to do it? Do it. You don't want to do it, don't do it, right? So I'm always like, cut the crap.
hmm.
So that you have to do in today's world, you have to keep your sanity together. Very important.
Hmm.
So that's how I do it.
It's a lot on the timing as well. No? At times, you sort of are living in parallel worlds. Like, irrespective of whoever you are a man or woman. Like Sukanya is also here, and we are representing diversity inclusion. Here we talk, about things we manage. Like we are also managing parallel worlds, work, theater, a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So, and with our sort of things going together, it is challenging to hold
It is.
this sanity and
That core. That core.
core and keep your holy grail to yourself, right? Um, I'll just talk about my experience of being someone who has gone through all the competitions, competitive exams, and all those crap in life. I sort of used to feel I'm very much. Uh, if there is a queue, I would be someone who is maybe in the last 10 or last 5, because there's so much around. Today is internet generation, and I still feel outdated at times. I do not know how to use Instagram, a couple of more things that I do not know. uh, but still, what I know or what I like, so they say this कि आप अपनी रेस खुद चूज करो और फिर उसमें भागो, या फिर ऐसा कुछ, something around that. um, uh, what are your thoughts? And Sukanya, maybe you can share yours, because yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I just have a question here. So you spoke about toxic toxicity, about how when you're there with a set of people and you can sense that toxicity, and so in those cases sometimes you may not have somebody to listen to you or be there to heal you at that point of time. So as an individual, how is that I would be able to heal myself at least that a few minutes, those few moments, how should I really do that for myself so that it gives me some time to think beyond that and or think a little more clearly uh, away from that situation.
Okay. So learn to take space. No matter how much I love you or you love me, and even if someone is my husband or partner, I always have that space for myself. I create it. I've been grown up in a joint family. We had 17 or 18 people living together, but I could create that space. And when you have that space, Sukanya, think what you want. Take deep breath and give things that space. You will find the answer. Always have that space for yourself. I understand ऑफिस वर्क पॉलिटिक्स होता है, टॉक्सिसिटी होती है, रिलेशनशिप में होता है, फ्रेंड्स टॉक्सिक होते हैं, but always know what is your story and what is my story. Even now, if you are crying and weeping and all that, that is not my story, right? I don't have to go back home to it. And the point is that this comes with practice. Life is like a game. The more you play with awareness, the better you grow. Now that what you take home is your responsibility, what I am speaking here is my responsibility. You need to take everything. Take what resonates and work for you. For me, my life works. For you, your life works. So do what works for you and have that space that this is your life. And think, meditate, do deep breathing, yoga, whatever works for you, and find what resonates here. Because let's say whatever resonates within us is something we have already known. It's just that we heard it again. We are remembering it. believe that inner GPS system. I do that. I get so many offers to do this and that. When things don't resonate, I think about it and then I say a yes or a no, because what resonates, I'm already a master of it. That means I'm good at the game. I might have forgotten, but I'm good at it. And what doesn't, it's okay. You might not want to learn it again. So I have a very strong GPS system inside, and it has never lied to me, and it has taken me to good places. And it was very difficult to believe myself when I was young because, of course, the kind of conditioning we have. But the older I get, the stronger my GPS system is. And you have a space where I call the queen space. That is my space, my kingdom. Keep away from there. I pray, I meditate, I work there. You keep away. My boundaries are very strong. So that's how I operate. And that's also how so many things work so seamlessly. Otherwise, you can't. You will jeopardize everything, because even in the letters or the conversation or the healing work that I do, I only hear a lot of pain and negativity. Imagine if I keep carrying that and making that my story, knowing what is yours and knowing what is mine, and having that boundary. And no matter how much you throw a tantrum, I won't let you come into my space. So that is what works very well for me. Try that. It will work for you. Have your own queen space and create your own kingdom.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's how it works.
That's a very good another thought to take back home. Have your queen space. I'll have my king space, and we'll create my
You
own
must
kingdom.
have it. And always tell people, here far and no further. Don't let someone come. Have your own sacred space and don't let anyone come there. Even if that she or he is your lover, no one should violate that space. Have a space within yourself where no one, even your parents, though Indian parents are supposed, हमें बताया जाता है ना, they are like gods to us, they are, but there's one space between you and your God. Even if you're an atheist, it's between you and the universe or science. Keep it for yourself. And whenever you are sad or whatever it is, come back there. You will be fine. Learn to operate from that space. It will work for you. I have my queen
I think
space.
at this juncture,
Go ahead.
I think at this juncture, it is the right time to we ask you about Akashic reading
Oh,
and
which I did it
what
for
it is.
you. How was the experience? I mean, you were one of my subject when I started it. How was the experience?
Well, so when you had asked that, give me a question. I battle with myself. My biggest battle is not with people around. It is with my own self, with my own thoughts. And when I keep fighting with myself, I tend to lose a lot of energy. And one of the subjects are my questions. So I posted one of those questions, which I've been fighting from a really long time, and for which you're not able to find an answer. So for me, it was sort of finding an answer, and it was a relief, which I was sort of punishing my own self with. That so there is a judge inside who's sitting, and who does order, and you are the culprit, and you've been sanctioned this. I mean, आपको वो सजा सुना देते हैं इतने साल की, and फिर आप झेलते रहते हो उसको इतने साल तक. So some sort of thing was happening with me, and it took time. मेरे को वो सजा झेलते झेलते हैबिट हो गई थी. So I learned living with it. And yeah, the experience with Akashic reading and with what you shared was very relieving, and I was like, yes, now the circle completes, और अब लग रहा है मेरी सजा पूरी हो गई.
Exactly.
It was that.
So certain things comes to you in life, and certain things you go to. So I had a lot of opportunity where I could have learned to heal. किया नहीं कभी मुझे लगा नहीं ना राइटिंग सब अच्छा तो चल ही रहा है सब कुछ. But this a friend called up and she said that why don't you learn it? And that was in September, and I learned it. And that was one day when I learned to read, and then there's another class where you learn to heal. Something within me said, do it. I wasn't I didn't want to do it with anyone else. I thought मैं खुद के लिए ही करूँगी, खुद का healing ही करूँगी. And I did it. And there is clients, they do keep coming almost every day. And with those clients, that when I work with them, another universe have opened, and so much of wisdom other people's journey is teaching me. What Akashic record is, I'll just explain it in a very basic minimum. So everyone has their record of all lifetimes as human beings, which is we call in the Akasha. And you have your masters, teachers, and loved ones there guiding you, which you know, I went there. And so we can access that with your permission. And whatever problem or question that you have, we asked them, and the answer is given. Let's say you had a past lifetime problem, like you have a breakup in relationship every second month, and this might have been carrying from your past life, maybe ancestral, or maybe this lifetime. So we find the answer there, we heal the situation there, we give you the answer here. So that is how that healing and that shift in people happens. And it's very nice. I always ask after a day or two when I do my healing and all, and how do you feel? The only answer people say, we feel light. That means things have started working for them. It's another experience. What I have learned from people and their past lives. I can talk for hours and hours and hours, and it will never end. I can tell you about people, same families, people are born, and how karma is real. Karma is real. That's all I can say. One thing I have learned, that speak what you mean, do what you want to be done to you. That's the only thing I have learned from lifetimes and lifetimes of people that I have seen and helped them to find a closure at this lifetime. I can talk in hours and you will be like, oh man, and everything, because I did yours, right? I didn't know you. Those stories I didn't know. And when I access it and those wisdom comes and whatever what needs to be done, it's amazing. And everything makes sense at that point in time.
At that point. Okay.
Absolutely.
It feels like the circle is now complete. And
Exactly.
yeah.
You find a closure. If nothing, you will find a closure. And we meet the same people over and over again in all lifetimes. It's amazing. I mean, how the universe brings everyone finally together. That's intelligent. Maybe that's intelligence we call God. I don't know. But if there's one thing I know, karma is real. And whatever you do will be done to you in one way or the other. And there is a payback system that works. So it's another level of growth that I'm having right now. And I'm very grateful for everything that's happening to me. So happy that, yes.
True. I was just sharing this with Sukanya, that Paromita also does Akashic reading. And for anyone who's listening to this for the first time, will be very much mesmerized as to, okay, how can that happen?
Exactly.
And of course, like you were saying, it was beyond metaphysics. And
I told you.
beyond
Even you had problem. You had problem first, even believing it. But when you had your reading, I could see your voice, your face. You were like, "Oh my God!" If your face had a name, it would have been "Oh my God" at that point of time. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So Kanya, how is your feeling right now after hearing what it is?
Actually, I feel curious that I need to, take up something like that. And then, like the kind of experience that you had, I think even I would want to somewhere go through that and see what is that I would have, would want to feel sort of a thing. So,
And things that when we are very angry or very sad, we say things now with all our emotions. Mera to acha hoga hi nahi. It comes true in one lifetime or the other. Some
We keep
people have
saying.
taken those vows and those curses na ki I will be never happy in my marriage. It comes true. In
Hmm.
Akasha, we release those curses and vows. So very important, don't speak what you don't want to come to existence. Therefore, I have learned to speak well. I have always said, bless you, be well. At the end of the day, everything will come into existence, whether you like it or not. Because it is Hindu में कहते हैं ना, जैसे शब्द ब्रह्मा होते हैं. Brahma is the creator. You create that. So I have
Hmm.
learned. I always speak well. When I
Hmm.
even when I speak to Pranav, you're going to be okay. This is going to be okay because I know I'm going to. This is going to come to existence. Everything comes to existence. If not this lifetime, another. If not another, one time. But it is coming back to you. Don't curse and don't vow. And I have seen that in my client's life. It comes back. And how it entangles your life. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So is it like you being conscious about all that you speak or all your actions? So is it more to be that way so that it doesn't,
Yes,
somewhere.
first you have to be conscious and then it becomes a habit. I don't say that I don't say something that is not right. I'm human. But to curse or to take a vow, you don't have to do puja or something which movies say, which a movie show na ki wo kar diya, puja kar diya. It's more about all the emotions that we have, which are very powerful. We gather that when we are angry, and we say that. Even in Mahabharata, you see someone said something and that came through in after 100 years or something like that. So words come true. Speak well, especially about yourselves. Oh, I am not good. Great. It will come true to you one day or the other.
I
Speak well.
remember I remember
Hmm.
mom saying this a lot of times कि दिन में एक बार जबान
Saraswati beti
सरस्वती
hai.
आती हैं
Exactly.
तो अच्छा बोलोगे तो अच्छा होगा.
Acha hoga. So it is basically old times may people used to say just so that people don't start cursing and vows. But actually it comes true. It blows my mind. I mean, like one lifetime someone said something very with lot of force, and this
Hmm.
lifetime this woman is getting one divorce after another and another.
Hmm.
You said it right.
I'm wondering how is that how वो like we see in Ramayana and Mahabharata
Energy.
वो श्राप देते हैं तो एक बार में कोई.
Yes, exactly. Now you know why
Yeah.
these stories were told, why Ramayana Mahabharata were told. There was a reason, and I have learned. I always say, "Bless you, do well." Everything comes into
Hmm.
existence, especially when you say with all your emotions. Have you seen when parents are like angry with the child? They say, "Na tera kuch nahi hone wala." It
Hmm.
creates a neuro pathway, and the child starts failing one after another, one after
After the
another.
other.
That's why don't say what you don't want to be in existence. I learned it
Hmm.
through other people's mistake and a
And
few of mine. Yes.
yeah, and I
Yeah, go
experienced
ahead.
this while we are being we're being blessed also. Like my mom is very particular about this. That while you're touching her feet or anyone's feet, try
Mm.
and so वो क्या करती हैं? She keeps hand on my head, and that gives a lot of energy. It's like, yeah, you're actually blessing someone,
Mhm.
and so I think it works both ways. अगर आपने curse भी किया हो या bless भी किया हो,
Comes, of course.
and you feel that
Because
energy.
yes, because
Mm,
nature doesn't know between right and wrong. Whatever you are giving, it's giving back to you. So I try to
mm,
give a lot of blessings, and I experience a lot of blessings also in my life. So whatever I'm giving coming back to me in one form or the other. Therefore, हिंदुओं में one of the tenets तो है भी नहीं वैसे कर्मा की बात बहुत करते हैं. Everything is karma, even if you're
mm,
thinking, you're saying, or you're doing. So do well. Do well, speak well, or just shut up. It's tough. I also find it difficult, but I'm learning not to say what I don't want to come into existence. So that's I have learned through people's experience. It's crazy. It's crazy how things actually comes true. I mean, the universe is so kind. Whatever you say, it gives you back. So हम गलत ही बोल लेते हैं ना, हम तो गलत बोल लेते हैं. So वही होता है. Crazy, but this is how it works. I don't know, it is God or a system or the universe, whatever you call, there's something bigger than us. And it works that way. Be good, be kind, it'll come back to you. That's what I believe. And intention, your intention has to be right for things to manifest finally well. Because one of the healer and transpersonal therapist just said that we were talking about relationship in a class, and he said, how you begin is mostly how you will end. How did you begin your relationship? It's mostly how you will end. That's true with everything. How you begin is mostly how you will end. You enter as a thief, you will go out as a thief. Unless and until you have some kind of transformation, I don't know. But how you begin is mostly how you end. So, because what you are looking for will look for you now. So that's what I believe in.
Right. Excuse me, my video. The power is just gone, so I'm all dark here, but you can still hear my voice.
All right. Absolutely, no worries, no worries.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we are in the last 10 minutes of our today's opener. And pretty much spoke on different domains, and I'm sure it's going to add a lot of value to anyone who's going to watch this, listen to it. I'm going to save my Thanksgiving for the end of the session. But one thing which maybe we missed talking was on self-love. So I also remember this other experience. Yeah. So around self-love and why it is so important to love yourself. And what it does to you, maybe.
Okay, so how is it? It's okay not to love if you don't want to love. How is it to stay with yourself and constantly hate yourself? Aren't you the only person who is going to be with you till the day you die? Constantly you are with one person, so loving someone makes your life easier. That's the basic thing. And all relation in your life is based on the relationship you have with yourself. There is this line in the Upanishads, very famous, of course, mantra bhi hai, Aham Brahmasami. I am God. I am the creator. So what I create within for myself, when I hate myself, I will meet every person who will hate me. And when I really love myself and appreciate myself, which I have learned to do myself now, I find people like you who come and love and appreciate me. Basically, the relationship in the world that you have is the relationship you have with yourself. When your relationship with yourself is sorted, your relationship with other people is sorted. When you forgive yourself, it's easier to forgive someone. Love yourself to love someone. Now, do you get it? How I attracted both of you in my life today. This is how magic happens. And this is a glimpse I gave you today. No, I could have been sitting with anyone else. Maybe someone who is abusive. Maybe someone hates me. Maybe someone just saying worst thing about me. But I have attracted you guys today, right? That's energy. Because that's what I feel about myself. And you repeated what I feel about myself. That's how energy works. And that's how the relationship with yourself works. Because Aham Brahmasami, I am creating the world that I live in. It's easy to hear, but with practice, it comes very true. And I have learned it the hard way that to live this life well, you got to love and care for yourself. And it's so good when you love yourself, even if when someone don't want to love you and they want to live your life, you are human, you will feel bad for a day or two, but you come out of it because your love is enough for yourself. And feeling that you are good enough, it will make you take brave choices, ask for what you want, and live a life where you want to live the way you want. So these are basic things our schools don't teach, which they must. But we got to really say that I love myself and it's okay. It gives you a chance to be human. You will make mistakes, and there's no other way. We beat ourselves so much, we hurt ourselves so much, and then we go from one relationship to another hoping that someone will make it right. We go for addictions. Addiction can be anything. It can be overworking, it can be overeating, it can be oversleeping, because something is so empty within ourselves. And that is the root cause for any addiction to addiction, that you don't feel good enough about yourself. Unless you don't do that, you will try to feel with anything you get hands on. Have you seen people going from one relationship to another, then another, and finding the same kind of people and the same kind of way they break up? It is the pattern that they have within, which is reflected outside.
Well, yeah, I've had a couple of deep breaths while you were speaking. Yeah, some long realizations. So, Sukanya, anything you would want maybe to throw light on or ask Paromita while I continue with my breaths? Please carry on.
So, Sukanya, I can just say, as a woman that we are conditioned to give a lot. Turn it within, give yourself a lot. So, what Yanla Vanzan says, a very wonderful thing: what is in the cup is mine. When it overflows, it's yours. So today, if you guys are feeling good having this conversation with me, it is coming from my overfullness, my fullness. It is already flowing from me. I am not breaking my own cup to give anything to both of you. When your cup is full and it overflows, anyone who comes will have a great shower. But you don't get a chance to take what is already in my cup because it is mine. And I'm very selfish. And I'm the queen. And this is my queendom. And I protect it with all my heart and soul. And that makes my life very seamless, easy. Saying no becomes very easy. And saying goodbye has become also very easy because it's not serving a purpose. So many times we cling to people because we think that they are giving us some love or some gratification. But when I already give it to myself and it's not working, it's okay to say goodbye. That's what self-love, self-worth, and knowing that you are good enough works for you. These are things that needs to be taught in school, which we aren't. And that is, then we keep messing up with one thing or the other.
Very true. I think if those things were taught to us, probably things would be a little more simpler for us to live.
Absolutely. And especially self-forgiveness, self-kindness, self-empathy. The world would have been so easier, no? We wouldn't have made so many mistakes to learn that self-love is important. Like they taught us to read and write. We were taught that it's a very important skill. What if a child also had a half an hour class where they appreciate themselves, they love themselves, how to take care of themselves, forgive themselves. And when you teach someone who's 3, 4, or 5, they absorb it completely. But unfortunately, we don't teach the basic skills of living. And imagine the messed up world that we live in. Isn't it? So, yes.
So, if I have to ask you, like you spoke about self-love. So, what is that one small thing that we all can do every day so that we don't give up on ourselves or we don't get into that criticism
Right.
mode or those, the fight that we keep having within us. So
Absolutely. Take 2 days, 2 minutes a day to appreciate yourself. I mean, it's so wonderful that whatever you have done, it's wonderful that you went to college, you went to school, you went to college, and that's how why you can have this conversation with me today. You can speak the language that you speak. You can go to theater. I presume that you're working, so you can pay your bills. So we don't learn to appreciate that because you go to work every day, you bring whatever money you do and you can pay your bills. And if someone tomorrow hurts you, you can still take care of yourself. So ye choti choti baat, or maybe you spoke to a friend well. Today appreciate that you did this thing that you did with me very well. And I was very happy. Appreciate at least one thing a day. क्या होता है ना, that becomes your habit. And then the inner dialogue change. Otherwise, our inner dialogue is what was spoken to us or told to us or what we felt when we were 4 or 5 years old. The whole system is built till we are 8, and post that it's basically repetition. Like someone said, na, adulthood is a time where we finish the unfinished business of our childhood. So when you start speaking good, I do it very much. I will really appreciate myself tonight that you did a very good show, and hope someone gets help out of it. And that really helps me to keep my cup full. So I will not come to Sukanya Pranab tomorrow for for appreciation or justification, because I have given it to myself. So tomorrow Sukanya or Pranab will automatically come and appreciate me. That is how the cycle of life works. What is within will come from here.
right, really nice. Because sometimes it so happens that the entire day we are in a certain mode of criticizing ourselves, that we don't take even a minute to appreciate ourselves, wherein the energy just drains. So that way, I think this one
Because
thing.
we are so brutal to ourselves, you know. Ye nahi aata, wo nahi aata, you couldn't earn, you couldn't do. But it's okay because we are conditioned that way. It was never our fault. But you can just come back home and said, no matter how bad the day was, you stuck to your office. You didn't give up, right? So if you do that little by little, little by little, the ocean fills itself. It's a journey, Sukanya. Your self love, having self worth, having your boundaries, knowing your worth is a journey. And I will also have it throughout my whole life. But the point is that not everyone starts that. They want other people to give it to them, which eventually will never happen. So start your journey wherever you are, however you are. You have you for yourself, you are in the winning team. I always say I am God is a team, so I'm already in the winning team. अब देखेंगे लोग क्या कहेंगे. So I have this thing that I am God is one team, and that's the strongest team. You can't take down that team. So that's my faith, and that's my belief, and that's how I work from day to day, and that's how everything till date has worked so well. Always one. I only need one person in my team, and we win all the time.
That's wonderful. That's
That
wonderful.
is, yeah, that is so
Uh,
wonderful. And yeah, we, I mean, yeah, I would want to continue this much longer, but yeah, with the constraint of time, we would want to put an end to it. We also, like you said, we should be good to say goodbye as well.
Yes,
uh,
yes.
but thanks a lot from I don't know, from deep corners of my heart. I was so looking forward to talk on these deep topics to you from so long, and so grateful that you could find time. And on behalf of me, Sukanya, and yours truly, Theatre. Um, Thanks a million to you. Thanks a ton. We've been very grateful to have you. And yeah, all, I mean, I am eating my words right now, but I, we wish, all of us wish that, yeah, you keep winning, we all keep winning. And yeah, Suganya, please close. I'm running out of my words.
Yes, definitely. I think I take back a few things from this conversation that we had. I think to love myself more and to be kind, come what may, to be
To
kind to
yourself first.
myself.
Kindness to here first. Yes. That's the
Definitely.
bottom line. It's easier to be kind to others.
Yeah. So that's something I'm taking back. And thank you so much for being with us today.
And thank you for inviting me, for having me for 1.5 hours and having this conversation. And I feel very cherished and it's wonderful. And thank you, Pranav, and thank you, Sukanya. I could
Thank
sense
you.
the love that you're feeling, and I could sense all the good energy here. And that's the best gift anyone can take. And thank you so much for inviting. And to everyone watching, even if you're not, thank you. So